Thank you, Tiemann. Thank you to Brent through Right to Freedom. Thank you very much for the invitation. So I'm the chairperson of the South African Gun Owners Association, SAGA, and we believe in the right of lawful, law-abiding citizens, the right to choose to own a firearm for self-defense, for sport shooting purposes, for hunting, for collecting, or for business purposes. And what this bill seeks to do is to change all of that, take away the right for you to choose to own a firearm for self-defense, to protect yourself and your family from the criminals of South Africa. You also are losing the right for sport shooting as well. So we mustn't forget about the sport shooters are going to be affected by this bill. And the sport shooters create a huge industry within South Africa. There are many people that are employed in this industry in South Africa with regards to dealerships, regards to sport shooting activities. All of those people will be affected by this bill. Not to say also about hunting. Hunters bring millions of rands, billions of rands to South Africa on a regular basis. They help to contribute to the society, they help to contribute to the villages out there that support the hunters. And if this bill gets passed, the hunters will lose the opportunity to hunt. Not only that, the people that support those hunters will lose their livelihoods as well. So we mustn't forget that this bill is affecting not just ordinary South Africans and your right to choose a firearm for self-defense, but also it affects hunters, sport shooters, and even collectors who hold the cultural history of South Africa in their hands, because our museums can no longer protect that right, can no longer protect that cultural heritage. Collectors are the ones that are now protecting that heritage and keeping those traditional firearms safe. And all cultures within South Africa used firearms. Look at the Zulu wars. Firearms were used on the Zulus, by the Zulus as well, against the English effectively. So it's not just Boers that use firearms, not just the English that use firearms. Everyone in our history, going back to the Basotho, who successfully defended themselves against the English in the 1880s and kept their firearm rights. So it's not just about self-defense, or that is obviously a pressing right and something we should all protect. It's also about collectors as well. And if collectors lose their right to collect, that cultural heritage is gone forever and lost to us as South Africans. Also, don't forget about the businesses. There was mention about security companies. There are many firearm businesses that are going to be affected by this bill. So we're not just looking at security companies and reduction and the type of firearms they can own with regards to not owning semi-automatic rifles and having to defend themselves against fully automatic AK-47s. It's also the other businesses out there. There are corporate businesses out there that use firearms on a regular basis for fun events, for corporate shooting events. Those persons and those industries are also affected about this bill. So it's across the board. This bill is affecting the whole of South Africa and affecting all of us for our right to choose to own a firearm for whatever purposes we need. The biggest issue with this bill is the fact that government has not sought to deal with the stakeholders, with the role players. They have not spoken to us about this bill. They said in the bill they have, but they have not spoken to our gun rights organizations such as SAGA and GOSA and all the other organizations. They have not consulted us. And the democracy is you're meant to consult with the people. They have not consulted with us. They have pushed this bill through without talking to us about it. And we are the people that are involved in the industries, involved in the different organizations that can help the police and help government to effectively combat crime and combat illegal firearms. The focus here again is on soft targets, the law-abiding citizens, and not illegal firearms. What is government doing about tackling the illegal firearms? Where are all those special task force units we used to have that would tackle issues like this, like illegal firearms? The bill has changed from the perspective of keeping legal firearms out of the hands of criminals to focusing on us as law-abiding citizens. And that is wrong, and that is not right, and we should fight for our rights and continue to fight for our rights to ensure that all rights of citizens, law-abiding citizens, whether they choose to own a firearm for self-defense, choose to own a firearm for hunting purposes, for sport shooting purposes, for collecting, or for businesses, that right is protected. So I call on all of you here and all of South Africa to join and unite against this bill to ensure that our rights are enshrined and entrenched, and that we can ensure that the police are doing their job correctly and help the police do their job correctly to combat illegal firearms and combat the criminals out there. Thank you very much. Thank you to Brent again, to Right to Freedom. Thank you for the opportunity. And God bless South Africa, and God bless all South Africans who wish to choose to own a firearm for whatever purpose. Thank you very much.